Good time zone, good mammals.
Hello, good mammals.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your time with us today, you good mammals.
You so good.
You look like a really good mammal. When I see you, I think, wow, that's a mammal.
Mm-hmm.
That's
A good
a good mammal.
Yeah.
What is a good mammal? What are we doing here? What is our purpose? What is the meaning of life? Does anyone know? Does anyone know the meaning of life? What is our purpose? What is our primary function? What is the objective of this whole thing? I see a lot of 42s.
Love. I think it's love. I think it's to love and be loved.
In return?
Yeah, in return.
The greatest thing you'll ever learn, they say.
I think that's it.
Hello and welcome, and thank you for the 42s. So, 42 is, of course, a computational answer to what is the meaning of life. But the question is... I like Vanessa. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. That's a nice way to put it.
Oh, I love that.
Don't we all create our own purpose, says Ava? I think so.
To find happiness.
What do you get when you multiply 6 by 9?
Mm-hmm. It's what we make our meaning. Yeah. Nice. Self-actualization.
Yeah, to live a chill life, we gotta find ourselves. Very good, very good. I see Aaron Gray, thank you for those big cheers aboard the hype train. It's 54. I don't know, I just read something out of the chat. We don't need to say 54 to each other times like these. So this is our question for today. Today our question is, what is purpose? What is meaning? What is the objective? Right? What's our goal?
Yeah. What's the big picture goal?
What's the big picture goal here, team,
and is anybody joining us for the first time? Is this anyone's first Good Mammal stream?
Shout yourself out if it is your first Good Mammal stream. Magnolia Sims.
Oh, Magnolia Sims.
Thank you kindly.
So much.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
We appreciate you much. If you got one of those gift subs from Magnolia Sims, please be sure to shout yourself out and say thank you.
We have quite a few people joining for the first time for their first Good Mammal stream.
Good mammals all day.
Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much.
Well, then let's catch you up to speed just a little bit.
Okay.
So, we all have played a lot of video games here together on Twitch. It started with a game called Detroit Become Human for many of us. A core theme in the game is empathy, and these androids waking up to realize their human emotions, their empathy, and their ability to communicate their emotions or understand emotions that are going on inside them or inside of other androids. And so we talked about this a lot during the playthrough of the game. We've talked about a lot of life things during the playthrough of lots of games, story games.
We play a lot of we like to play a lot of story games that have strong themes and big themes that make us think about what it is to be human and our emotions and connecting with our emotions and what does it mean. And so we came up with this idea to do a stream called Good Mammal because we wanted to be able to really get into it and talk about what makes us human and how to be a better human and how to understand ourselves more and other people more as well. Yeah.
One of my core curiosities in life is why fellow humans have such a difficult time being good humans to other humans. I mean, we're all just humans, regardless of where we come from or what we believe in, or how we show our love or how we express our identity and all these things. So the idea was to kind of wind it back a little bit, that we would explore not being like the best person, but just a good person, and not even a person at this point, just a
mammal.
A mammal. So last time we talked about how not only are you a mammal, you are a primate.
Yes.
And a primate is one of the top mammals, in my humble opinion. Primates have a large brain relative to their body size. That's you. Okay? They also have hands capable of grasping opposable thumbs.
Specifically.
We love that.
We do.
This gives us the ability to use tools like an axe, a hammer, a stick to get the ants out of the log.
Toothbrush.
Gratitude,
phone,
for instance. So we've been using all of these kind of very simple explorations of what are our basic emotions, what are the basic things that we can be grateful for, lot of thumbs up, a lot of love for thumbs. Those gamer thumbs out there doing the most for many of us.
And last week we were talking about gratitude and how gratitude is a very useful tool that we can use to combat many things. Specifically, last week we were focusing on comparison and envy and jealousy and feeling. We talked about how when you're feeling jealous or when you're feeling envious, what does that feel like? And you were all describing how it feels like having like toxic acid in you, or a tar,
bad vibes,
just
man.
Being like suffocated, claustrophobic. But when you are full of gratitude, there's a feeling of confidence, there's a feeling of openness, it's like a ray of sunshine just wrapping you up. So we talked about how you can use gratitude and different ways to cultivate gratitude and focus on that. And it can start with just little tiny things like, I am grateful for my thumbs.
I'm grateful for my vision. You know, I'm grateful that as a primate, I don't rely on my sense of smell to get around.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty good. I'm also grateful I'm not, I got siblings, but I'm grateful I'm not from a litter of, 150 or 1,000. I have complex social relationships, which is a blessing and a curse sometimes.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're talking about what are emotions. So we started with very basic emotions like these: happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, or surprise. Maybe one of those stands out to you today. And then we talked about how those could be a little bit more detailed. Instead of 6, we broke them into 8. And then all the way down the scale, we crossed into these rings of colorful emotions and their degrees, right?
Yeah.
So when anger is at its fullest, it's called rage. But when it's just a light dose of anger, it's annoyance.
Yeah.
Right? So we can use these degrees and colors of our emotions to communicate how it is that we feel, and also gives us a kind of a waypoint on how we want to steer our lives.
Yeah. And also, the more we can understand our emotions and the varying degrees of how they manifest, then we can understand ourselves and know how to either combat a negative emotion or basically pull ourselves out of it. It's how to find contentment.
Yeah. So we've been exploring our emotions. What are they specifically, how to express them, and then excitingly, what we can do with each of them to basically work against them or find our way back to contentment, this kind of middle point from which our happiness can be allowed to spring up and happen. So today we're going to talk about purpose, because I think it will help us decide if our emotional life is where we started, our first stream. That's where we are, maybe at any given time. And the purpose is maybe where we're going. Yeah. So that's the point B that we're headed to.
Yeah, and we want to get your feedback and your thoughts about Good Mammal and what you would like to see this evolve into. What gets you the most excited? What are the things that are lighting up for you? But first, I have to say, Susie
Gotta
the
say
Nose,
some thank yous here.
Susie the Nose, thank you so much.
Thank you, big kind.
Thank you for the gift sub group hug.
Susie the Nose, we appreciate you. If you got a gift sub from Susie, please be sure to thank them. And check out the starter kit. We have a starter kit. If you're new, this will show you the way around the channel. Help you find your place in the order of things.
Yes.
Then we have Bloody Cheyenne back for 45 months. Dream Wolf back for 2. I see Logs YT. Thank you for the cheers, my friend. And Therium Liquors back for 15 months. Don't put that in your... Jeez. Clomo Gal, welcome back for 7 months. We got Raleigh Jogger Jones, is always fun to say. Welcome back for 31 months. Blue Crusher, thank you for the double gifted subs. We got a Blue Crusher situation.
Thank you so much, Blue Crusher.
Boop, boop. Thank you, friends. Thank you all for showing your awesome support to our stream. We're glad that you're here and excited about some Good Mammal vibes.
Robotic Orchid, thank you for the gigantic cheers.
Thank you. You're a good plante. Just a little nomenclature humor for you. Miles Mem, welcome back for 17 months. Thank you all for being here. MMO therapy, that's hilarious. Arcadian Sky, that's very clever. It is a bit of group therapy in that we're all discussing our emotions and communicating together. Our big goal here is that we're hoping that things that maybe one person brings up can be useful to discuss for someone else who's like not even typing in the chat and just kind of lurking and hanging out. So please feel free to read along in the chat, respond, and correspond in the discussion with us as we go. So thank you all. And also a big reminder that Amelia and I we're just mammals.
We're just mammals.
We're not therapists. We're not certified mental health coaches. This is not what we are trained specifically to do. We're just actors who've been victims to our own emotions a lot of times, and we've had to figure out what to do with our emotional state. So we hope that we can be useful in communicating with some of you, and maybe this helps you make some progress in an area of your life that you're hyped about.
Yeah.
Or intimidated by, or scared of, or whatever
that you're dealing with, you're up against.
That you're up against. Yozume the Yokai, thank you for being here for 29 months. Woo. Mr. Lemon Panda's cheering. Coco Oliver is cheering big time. Thank you, Aqua Girl, being back here 19 months.
Whoa, welcome back.
Thank you.
Gray, thank you so much for the cheers.
Gray, this is a lot of love.
So where should we start?
I want to start with this. So I was speaking with both of my fathers. I am pleased to say that Amelia and I got to
my God, my dad literally just texted me as soon as you said fathers.
What does father say? We had Father's Day with two dads, my dad and Amelia's dad, together in a great conjunction of dads, and we did feed these dads.
We did.
The dads were well fed. We also went to an art walk, which was really cool, where we saw a bunch of chalk art.
So cool.
Which is really beautiful. So these fathers were having a discussion. We were talking about longevity and things and purpose, and we brought up this phrase, which I know there's a book about, which I've not read the book, and I would like to get more into it. I'm sure there's lots of reading we could find. But Ikigai. Who's familiar with the word Ikigai? I'm going to come over here so we can see. This is a Japanese word. Ikigai is a word for the concept meaning a reason for being. A reason for being. That's like a purpose, a mission, meaning of life, right? A reason for being. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's pronounced like icky guy.
Yeah.
So the purpose of life is to be an icky guy. No. Ikigai is a concept meaning a reason for being. And this concept has come up to me more than one time in life. Friends have shared with me some version or other of this image, of this chart here that I really like to see. But it's also relevant in that Ikigai is maybe much more celebrated concept in Japan. And I think in the US we kind of have this like, what do you do for work idea, which as we see on here could be your profession or your vocation. But when it comes to longevity, there is an island they call the Blue Island in Japan that the elders are there. There are more centennials on this island than any other place in the world.
And a centennial is someone who is over 100 years old.
Someone who's 100 years old or more.
Yeah.
So this island that has the most 100-year-old people and more has been studied by lots of experts who want to know what is the secret to this long life? Is it the food that they're eating? Is it the location they're in? Is it the community structures that they have? And one of the main things that they reference back to is this Ikigai concept, as well as the fact that elders in the Japanese society are very well respected and regarded and treated as the treasure of the society, which is something centurion. So the centennial, maybe a centennial. Centennial might be the easier way to say. Is that what I said before?
I think so.
Yeah. Now I'm confused because sometimes I'm reading things while I'm talking. But in any case, the idea is that if you have a Ikigai or you have a reason for being, then every morning that you wake up, you got stuff to do. You can't die. Basically, you gotta keep up to your good work. So what is the Ikigai? It is this intersection of these four things. You want to read some, Amelia?
Yes. So it's an intersection of your passion, your mission, your profession, your vocation.
So said a little more broadly to start, what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs.
What the world?
Okay, so these sub intersections here, the bigger circles.
Oh, I was reading it wrong. Okay.
It's okay. what you love and what the world needs overlap together in what we call a mission, right? That makes sense, right? Our mission, like what you're up to. This is Connor's mission, right? What he loves stopping deviance for a while. That's what the world needs him to do. So that's his mission. That's what he's up to. What you're good at and what you love is your passion, right? So if you are someone who is really, really excellent at painting 3D sculptures, for instance, right?
Okay.
Painting minis, and it's what you really, really love, you could describe that thing as your passion. But then we also have an overlap here between what you're good at and what you can be paid for, because there are some things that I'm good at and that I love that nobody's really hiring me to do, but I guess they could be, but that's just not where your focus is. So if your focus is on being good at it and getting paid to do it, you are a profession. That's your profession. And what the world needs and what you can be paid for can be called a vocation. So obviously there's some overlap between your profession and your vocation, and your passion and your mission, and your mission and your vocation, and your profession and your passion. Tweedle Beetle Battle. What are you looking up?
I'm looking up the specific definition of vocation.
What's the specific definition of vocation?
So vocation is a strong feeling of suitability for a particular career or occupation. So it's feeling like a calling, or life's work.
A well-set pair between what the world needs and what you can be paid for. Let's throw this out there. Let's start simple. What you love, this yellow section up at the top that connects into our mission and our passion, as well as the Ikigai. So what are some things that you love, friends? Hit us with some things you love in the chat. Let us read them to you, back at you. You love stories.
Writing.
Your family.
Art.
Painting.
Visual art.
I'm seeing dancing.
Cooking.
Your cat. Wolves. Taking care of others.
Books.
Chocolate.
Games.
Ooh.
Films.
Singing, programming, dancing.
Video games.
A lot of video games. Outdoors.
Sports.
Gaming. We got chatbot development. Science.
Football. Sewing.
Trains. Mathematics.
Video games.
Sewing again. Hunting. Baking. Piano playing. Wow. TV shows.
Crafting.
Food. Specifically Asian food. Solving puzzles.
Photography.
The ocean. Guitar.
Birds.
Ooh. Look at this.
Mentoring,
Passenger
teaching.
airliners. Sweet. Fandoms.
Culture.
This is marvelous. So these are all really good ideas of what are things that we love, right? And a lot of these they're active words, plants, right? I feel like a lot of these things that we love are also nicely shared, right? Like when someone says dancing, I might not have put I love dancing, but as soon as someone says I love dancing, I'm like, I love dancing too. Dancing's great, right? So these are some universal things that we all might love, but they're specific to each person, right? Because if I say swimming, some of you might be like, not for me, right? So even when we're just in this first circle of what you love, it's a pretty personal thing, right? Some people love cheese. Some people are lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Some people love chocolate. Some people are allergic to chocolate, right? So this is kind of the first step in us. And if you want to write this down for yourself, maybe this could be useful. Maybe you can make your own chart here. Which one of these do you think we should go for next, Amelia, of the bigger circles?
Maybe what the world needs.
What the world needs. What does the world need? Team, hit us with this. This one we all might be able to speak to. Let's shout out some ideas in the chat. Kindness.
Peace. Kindness. More love.
Compassion. Love.
Communication. Yes.
Understanding.
Empathy.
Reptiles and dogs.
Morals.
Hugs.
Compassion.
Empathy.
More smart people.
Patience. Acceptance.
Patience.
I'm seeing understanding. A lot of understanding. Tolerance. Equality.
No judgment.
More dogs.
Systemic
change.
More cats.
expression,
security,
open-mindedness,
togetherness,
and loving,
empathy,
truth,
education,
respect,
serenity,
RA9, listeners, knowledge, honesty, absolutely bees. These are great things. Unconditional positive regard.
Well, I also see it's very much in the same world what everybody's saying. Essentially, it's understanding, it's compassion, it's finding a peace through that compassion and understanding.
Or trees.
It's a balance. It's a balance.
Equality, unconditional love, democracy, perhaps. This is a lot of stuff that I feel like a lot of us respect for others, motivation. I think these are all things that resonate in all of us, right?
Yeah.
But when I say certain words kind of glow or resonate to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like seeing so many people type understanding back and forth there, right? I mean, that resonates with me. That kind of glows.
Yeah.
So pay attention to which of those things stand out to you. When someone says integrity, do you say, yes, it's got to be that? Is it peace? You say, yes, it's got to be that. Whatever you truly believe the world needs is important to finding out your reason for being or your Ikigai. Which one should we go to next, Amelia? We got two more.
What are you good at?
What are you good at?
Yeah, what are you good at?
What are you good at, team? Shout them out. What are some things that you're really good at? And I mean good at, not getting good at. I mean you're already good at. I got some storytellers, some writers helping.
Dad jokes,
painting, drawing, eating.
Video games,
sleeping, singing,
writing,
wonderful, breathing,
editing,
puns,
horseback riding,
swimming and climbing, reading
people,
driving trains in simulations, making people laugh.
That's
and
important.
Jokes.
Overwatch.
Yes, piano playing cello, volleyball,
learning languages,
physics,
being understanding, architecture,
racing games, and soccer,
listening, visual compositions,
procrastinating,
taking care of plants,
martial arts, caring for kitties, presenting, studying, designing, having faith in humanity, enjoying food, solving Rubik's cubes,
making people feel loved.
These are great things to be good at.
Science.
I see singing and sharing energy, dark humor. Yes, the world needs some.
Putting yourself in others' shoes.
Ooh, proofreading. Yes, editing. Taking care of dogs. I see a lot of dogs getting their love.
Computer science, illustration.
Cooking, cleaning. Look at this. Being charitable. Yes, being generous.
Teamwork,
playing volleyball, doing concepts, training dogs, making your friends laugh. Comforting others. I mean, these are all wonderful things to be good at.
Yeah.
So maybe you were thinking, I'm not good at anything, but then you just heard someone say petting dogs and you're like, I am really good at petting dogs. I would say I for myself, I like hosting a lot. I really think I'm good at hosting. I think it's part of what I like about streaming. I like pruning trees.
Yeah.
I'm good at pruning trees, I think. Taking care of plants is something that I'm good. You're a pro trampoliner?
Making pies.
Making pie, yes, please.
Arguing. Debating.
We're pretty good at slaying on occasion. We've slayed once or twice. We slew. Cheese is here. Welcome back for 4 months. Kylie becomes human. Welcome back for 3. And robotic orchids. Thank you for the gifts up to Head Pigeons, who's back for 56 months. And Shy Violet Angel. Thank you for the gifts up to Cosplay Flowers. We appreciate you. Creating stories and loving things, making soup and ice skating, fostering cats and being awkward,
making bread,
making bread and baking too. Now, these are nice things. Now, here's a question. What can you be paid for? This is another one. When you're trying to figure out this one, I'm thinking, how do I help people? How have people come to me and said, excuse me, I need you to help me with this. Can I hire you? So doing work for other people, making art.
Helping other people with something that they're not good at, that you are good at. That's,
I see proofreading. I see art and writing.
Concerts, playing in concerts.
There you go.
Editing.
And I see a lot of you saying you're creative and making things, fabricating things.
Art commissions.
Software development, helping people solve their problems. You're being hardworking. Coding. cooking, babysitting,
pet sitting,
research assistant, singing,
marketing,
coding and making videos,
college counseling,
3D printing, gardening,
brainstorming,
designing and marketing, counseling,
music production,
housekeeping, beautiful,
baking,
directing and art commissions. I see voice acting. I see baking,
translating,
dog walking, photography,
psychology,
coaching, listening,
tech support.
This is fantastic. Designing clothes and solving problems, taking care of people. These are great things. Making video games you can be paid for, certainly.
Yeah.
Babysitting for sure.
Coaching gymnastics.
Making floor plans. Accountancy, there you go. These are home decorating, wonderful. Creating things that other people need. Making other people coffee. Visual art and conceptualizing. Being a detective. Team managing. These are awesome. These are awesome. So these are all ways that we can be paid. And so being paid is part of, if we're talking about what you're good at and what you can be paid for, right? That is your profession. So for Amelia and I, one of our professions is to be an actor. And I think Amelia is pretty good at that. And I think she can be paid to do that job because she's able to help people with it, right?
Yeah.
I think that if I have the overlap between one of those things that you're good at and something that you can be paid for, the better you are at it, the more you can be paid to do it.
And also the more you love it, the more energy I think you'll put into being good at it. And then it makes when you're paid for it even more satisfying.
Right. So there's some interesting overlaps here. So just to walk through them together are overlap between the yellow, what we love, and the green, what we're good at, is called our passion, right? So some of those things that you said that you love and that you're good at, they were said twice, right? And you can see those overlap. If you typed the same thing into the chat for what do you love and what are you good at, well, then maybe that's one of your passions, right? And when we said, what are you good at and what can you be paid for? If you typed the same thing into the chat for that one, maybe that's the beginning of your profession, or maybe that's a place that you might want to study more to make it a profession. Then we have what do you love and what the world needs. That's a mission. So if you type the same thing in the chat for what do you love and what does the world need, or how could those two thoughts be connected to each other, that's our mission. And then our vocation is what we think the world needs and what we can be paid for. But there are these interesting little overlap sections here where they're really close to that Ikigai, which is in the middle of our passion, our mission, our profession, and our vocation, that is our reason for being. But those little sections that kind of look like the triangles coming out of the flower in the middle with the little dotted lines coming, these are like pretty close, but not all the way there. So let's look at the top one first. If we find something that we love that is somewhere between our passion and our mission, right? It overlaps with what we're good at, what we love, and what the world needs, but not necessarily with what we can be paid for. You're going to have delight and fullness. You're going to like your job. You're going to be happy doing it, but you're not going to ever be able to have some wealth that is associated with it, to be paid to do your task, right? And I can tell you a lot of creative people, myself included, can spend a long time in this place.
Yeah.
Because I love this photography, for instance, right? I love photography and I was getting very good at it, and my world.
You are good at it.
Thank you. Well, at the time, in this moment, and when I felt like I was in that place, and what the world needs, all the people around me when I was graduating were saying, I need headshots. I'm an actor. I needed photos, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I started overlapping all of those things that I moved from the idea of loving photography to finding a way that it could be something that I could be paid for, where I was helping people do their headshots when they were submitted, which is a headshot is a photo of you use to submit yourself for acting jobs. It's basically saying, I look like this for real and recently.
Yeah.
And so I was able to move a little bit from that area above closer to an Ikigai, or it was my Ikigai for a number of years, maybe 5 years, where the center of what I loved and what I was good at and what the world around me, my immediate world, needed and what I could be paid for was taking actors' headshots and portraits for their careers.
Yeah.
And so when we are in a place where we love what we do, it has some passion and we're good at it, and it's a profession, we might feel satisfied, but a feeling of uselessness, right? So what's some time in my life or your life where you were doing something you loved and you were good at it and you could be paid for it, but it didn't feel like the world needed it? Do you know what I mean?
It's complicated.
It is complicated. It requires some soul searching. I mean, I think
maybe honestly some of the acting jobs that I took.
I was just gonna say.
I was like, I'm good at this and I'm being paid for it, and I technically love it because it's acting, but maybe the world doesn't need this bad energy
I think
of this storyline right now.
I think that's it. I think there have been some projects or some times where I was like, oh, I'm being paid to do this. And like, what do I love? Acting. Love it. What am I good at? Am I good at it? Yeah. Do I like teaching? Yeah, I like that. Was I paid as an acting teacher at an acting studio? Yeah. But eventually I got to this point where I was like, I feel like I'm just sort of doing this job. I don't really feel like I'm making the world a better place. You know, it was just kind of felt like a job, and the world wasn't demanding this from me. It wasn't like enough to like get up and like drive 2 hours like I had to go.
Yeah.
You know?
For me, it was also like, you know, when you're putting your energy into something and, what is the outcome of it? So like, for example, certain storylines that I was helping bring to life with my character that I was cast in, you know, the storyline itself was like really dark and twisted, and in a way that I'm like, is this what the world needs? Does the world really need all of this, like, you know, negativity or this like darkness? Is this helping, or is this like just kind of adding to the kind of grossness? Yeah.
So Snooze Biome says, what counts as something that the world needs? I mean, that's, again, it's a personal decision. So we discussed it a little bit earlier in this stream, but some of the things, you feel free to chat them out. But it's really more that you believe that it's something the world needs than that other people or that the world objectively says that they need, right?
Yeah.
If you feel like you live in a world where people don't understand each other and there's a lot of miscommunication, for you, the world might need understanding and communication, you know, better listening. If you're somewhere that is currently massively impacted by, for instance, climate change, right? And the environments being radically unlike they have been, you might say the most important thing the world needs right now is climate action, is taking care of the ecosystem and the world that we all live in, you know? But there are people who are survivors of certain kinds of trauma that their main mission, what the world needs, is support for specific groups of people that may have been either marginalized or overlooked or kind of quieted out by society because it would be difficult to talk about that. So let's not talk about that, right?
Yeah.
So your point of view might be that the thing the world needs is to shine light on important subjects like that. So what it is what the world needs is also very much up to you, just as unique as what you love and what you're good at and what people will specifically pay you for. Because when you're being hired to do a thing, like there are people out there who are getting paid a lot of money to do brain surgery, and no one has hired me to do any brain surgery. Right?
Not surprised.
Not unsurprisingly, there is no one asking me to operate on their brain. Right? So the same thing's true of what can you be paid for? Just because rude, right? Itsy bitsy. I'm like, come on, 0 deaths though. I wonder why. But like, so the point is not necessarily that we have to answer these questions from the big answer. Otherwise, we would all have the same Ikigai.
Yeah.
We would all have the same calling.
It's for you. It's for you specifically.
So this is as close as I'm going to get to brain surgery on any of you. This is behavioral science and psychology is closer to my interests. Hey, Lockhearted, thank you very much for being here for 51 months. A big thank you for 51 months of support. To all of our subscribers, thank you. We got Planetary Go-Go back for 27 months. Handsome Jessica back for 58 months.
What? Welcome back.
That's nuts.
Leah Bromwich, welcome back for 8 months.
And Yuri Rainey, thank you for being here with your Prime. If y'all have Amazon Prime, by the way, you can link it to Twitch for a free subscription.
Mm-hmm. And Kiss of Lightning. Thanks for the gifted sub.
Thank you. So moving right round to that other little bottom section that's not quite in our Ikigai meaning of life or reason for being. But what happens when I feel comfortable, but I feel emptiness? So if I'm comfortable, but I feel emptiness, I'm comfortable because I'm being paid, I'm getting my job, right? I'm working and I don't have to worry about can I pay my rent. Then that overlaps with what I'm good at because I'm being paid to do it. So maybe that's successful. And it's overlapping with the vocation, which is what the world needs, right? That means someone would pay me for it. So one job I had that was like that, or one way I spent my time doing that was being an event, not even a bartender, but like basically passing out drinks at things like art galleries and parties and stuff where you're like wine and beer and soft drinks and stuff, you know? So I was like, I was good at it. I was socializing with people and I was being paid to do it. And people were asking me like, you know, come and do this job. But it just felt sort of not sparkly. It just didn't overlap with what I loved. You know? So another way it could be close but no cigar. Have you ever had a job like that or a way you were spending your time?
Yeah. I worked as a caterer, so I would work at many events like passing out food and clearing up plates and stuff. And it was, you know, it had some fun parts because sometimes we'd cater these really awesome events and I'd get to see like I think Blink 182 one time was playing or something like that. And, you know, meeting other people, but also I felt like, you know, I didn't love it, and I felt like I wasn't being paid enough for it.
Yeah. Well, and usually we can do this kind of thing for some time.
Yeah.
And it's really good, especially if you're just graduating or you're trying to save up some money so that you can get your own place or move out of home or, you know, go move in with some roommates or something or before you get a partner. But then after a while, that one kind of runs out of its fun. Right?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't think I could do this forever. I might as well not live to be 100, right?
Yeah.
So you can see how it would be hard living to be 100 if you were comfortable but feeling empty. Or satisfied but feeling useless.
Yeah.
Or delighted and full but without any money at all. If you're destitute but you love what you do, I mean, that could be a hard road to toe. So this last spot on the right, closer to the pink section of what the world needs, what is this one here?
It says, excitement and complacency, but a sense of uncertainty.
So this overlap between what the world needs, what you love, and what you can be paid for, but not necessarily something you're good at.
Yeah.
That to me feels like when I'm doing something that isn't my personal calling, it feels like I'm doing someone else's job in that case. Do you know what I mean? Or I'm up to,
or you don't feel like you're necessarily the right person for or you're underqualified.
Yeah, you always kind of have imposter syndrome. You think maybe someone else should
when you're
be the
in
one
over
doing
your
this.
head.
Yeah, exactly. And so then you can focus on adding to it, right? Being good at it, of improving your skill.
Yeah, so that you feel more confident.
So you feel more confident and more certain in your ability to do that. Yeah. So what's interesting to me here is that this is something that I've been trying to figure out even before I was introduced to this as a phrase. I think it's a little bit it's like the plight of human condition, right? Is everybody, sometimes you're either feeling broke, you're feeling useless, you're feeling empty, or you're feeling uncertain. Like I felt all of those things.
Yeah.
Like I felt all those things, and sometimes even overlap of a couple of them, right? Where you're like, oh man, I'm broke and uncertain. At least I feel like I have a feeling of I'm doing
Passion.
what I love,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which is like a lot of creative people are like that right when you first graduate. You're like, I love this thing, I love this thing, I love this thing, but I am not surviving. Right?
Yeah.
No matter how long I look at this, I am not paying rent doing this task.
So then you're going to do something else that you could be paid for, but that you're not necessarily, and what the world needs, but you're not necessarily good at it, or
Right.
you don't necessarily love it.
Right, exactly. And we come up with a bunch of different names. I see Miles Mem mention the idea of like the starving artist, right? This
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
phrase that we were taught so often that I even graduated getting ready to starve. I was like, I better eat all I can at school because it's going to get real hungry out there for me. My expectation was that I would be a starving artist. So my thought was that no matter what, I would be out there living in this passion zone, or maybe in the mission zone, right? Where I was like, I'm passionate about acting, or I want to change the world with acting. But I was leaving out the part that like I need to be good at it, and the world needs to pay me for it. It needs to be exchanged so that I feel like it's being reciprocated, right? Because if we make some beautiful art, but as soon as you finish it, you close the book and you put it underneath your bed, then how much satisfaction can you really get? I mean, you had your moment of
Making
creating
it.
it and discovering it, but then when it comes to sharing it with the outside world, you close it off, right?
Yeah.
Versus when you make a thing and you're like, okay, no, I like this one enough, I'm going to show people this one, right? Or maybe
Yeah.
you do an art show, or you take it to a friend and say, I made this for your birthday or something, and they go, what a wonderful painting you've done. I can't believe you've done this, right? And now you start to get the other side of the equation, right?
Yeah.
So some things in our lives feel very much like they're about the outside world looking back at us, and other things feel very much like they're inside of us, and we want to be able to express them to the outside world. So our hope here is that we can find our own personal reason for being, or Ikigai, which will give us motivation to continue doing these things and getting better at them and loving them more and helping the world with what it needs more, and even getting paid more. I want you creative people out there to be wanting to be paid more. You deserve to be paid more.
Yeah.
Every time we reach out to artists and talk about art, I'm always like, yeah, okay, but we got to pay you more than that, because artists have this thing where they're like, but I like doing it, so I shouldn't be paid for it too much, right?
Yeah.
And that makes me sad, because if you get paid to make your art, then you can make more and more and more and get better and better and better at it. Eliza Frant, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Appreciate you.
Eliza, thank you.
Big hug. Much love. So nice. Yes. Okay, so I'm seeing people talking also about the difficulty in finding creative work and being paid for your creative work. That is something that I think would be a really good, more in-depth topic. Like you could have your whole own stream about working as a creative person, like being hired as an artist.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that has come up a lot for us when we've got some messages from you. Some people have emailed us ideas. We read back through the chat of the previous streams, and I know that a lot of you are creatives and artists, and making a living wage and doing solely your creative thing is very important, and make you feel like you're living a fulfilling life. So I want to have that as part of our stream. But we also want to talk about what today, and we're going to take a little hydration break, and then we'll use the second half of the stream. But if we all have our own unique reason for being, I'd like to come up with a bunch of different reasons for doing a good mammal stream. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, could we do some research, some brainstorming and things together on the other side of this to say, what are some ways we'd like to spend our good mammal streams going forward, with this in mind, the idea that maybe since it's different for everyone, the different good mammal streams would be useful for different people or more useful at different times, but that hopefully there's some overlap in all of these things so that you can find some use, even if it's coming from someone else's prompt, right?
Yeah. La Claire, thank you so much for the cheers.
Thank you.
Saying adding a piece of art adds to kindness, they say.
Oh, that's lovely.
And sometimes it's just the making of the art that gives you joy.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Love that.
That's so beautiful. This is fantastic. Just Not Jade asks, how many good mammal streams are we planning on doing? We're planning on doing them until we're good mammals all.
Yeah.
I think that for me, the good mammals stream itself, this stream, is me pursuing my Ikigai. Because we've been streaming for 5 years.
Yep.
And we've been talking about, Amelia and I know that we love this. We love playing games with you all. We love the community that we've built here together. Like the passion part of it. And I do think we're good at it because it hasn't exploded yet, you know? And I do think that we can be paid. I mean, we were able to rent this studio space, so every time that you are all subscribing or something, it's going towards the fact that we can literally have a space to do this work in. And we were able to do our first game together that we voice directed, Evolutus and stuff. So we're able to grow and do this. But what the world needs, part of it, is for me. Something that's really important that I used to be really tied to, and I was like, okay, but it's all about acting, right? My time is about, I love acting and I need to make the world a better place. But what the world needs, I think, is community, it's communication, and it's self-reflection to take care of our own selves and make ourselves more capable of living a better tomorrow and so on. So for me personally, the Good Mammal stream is my go at the Ikigai for right now, as I understand it right now. It's the overlap of what do I love, which is streaming and this community and working with Amelia and playing games and stuff, you know? And I think we're good at it, and I think we can make it a little bit more tailored to like what the world needs. What do you all need?
Also, after both of these, the past 2 Good Mammal streams, because this is only our 3rd that we've done, afterwards, I feel so good. I feel way more in tune with myself. And I've also been noticing that if I'm feeling an upset or if I'm feeling like a kind of funk, that I've been really focusing on breaking it down of what is at the root of this? Why am I feeling this kind of a way? And naming it specifically so that I could understand myself better and understand what's at the root of this uncomfortable feeling that I'm having. Why am I feeling frustrated? Why am I feeling upset? And so for me, it's been incredibly helpful just of the being able to reflect on myself, and then also seeing other people and being able to recognize certain emotions and certain, tells. And so I just feel like I personally have felt way more in tune with myself and the people around me because I'm putting a focus and an energy specifically on understanding that. So that's what I've been really loving about these Good Mammal streams is picking up the microscope.
Would you say your emotional intelligence is increasing as we talk about it more?
Definitely.
That's how I feel. Like we talked in the first stream, the difference between our IQ, right? Our intelligence, our ability for problem solving and reasoning, this kind of like scholastic brain. And then our EQ is like our heart getting smarter, right? You know? And the more I've been studying these things and thinking about them and really honestly just talking about them, because some of them feel kind of like, it feels kind of baby, honestly. Like it feels, sometimes I'm saying these things and I'm like, it seems like so obvious that I don't even need to mention it or something, that I'm like, obviously that's fear and not anger, but not obviously.
Yeah.
Like to be able to honestly look at yourself and say, I'm afraid right now. I'm not angry, or I'm angry. It's not coming from fear. And so being able to communicate those things just for ourselves and to each other, you're super cool. What's up, Hazais? Cool. I know. The vibe that I'm getting here is that when I talk about these things more often, when I communicate these things more often and I understand them more completely, then I actually can have a pretty smooth transition back from whatever these things are. I feel like I'm getting stronger and stronger in doing them. And I've actually had some really good conversations with my close friends in the last couple of weeks since we did the Good Mammal streams. I've been bringing it up in conversation, like, you know, just to my friends in their lives. Like I was just telling my friend when we hung out recently about our Good Mammal thing. I was like, you have a large brain relative for your body size because you're a primate and you have hands capable of grasping. Like if we just wake up every morning and go, I'm glad I have a large brain and I like that my hands are capable of grasping, or I appreciate that I have vision and I don't have to smell my way around the world, or I'm glad I don't have 1,900 brothers and sisters, you know? Like these little things kind of build up a kind of armor of gratitude against all of the inconveniences and the things we don't have control of that are coming at us from the outside world. And so too, we can do that with the, with each of the emotions, with each of the conditions. Shall we, you must have a handsome dad, Caden. Shall we take a little 5-minute break?
Yeah, let's do it.
And use this for some brainstorming time. Think on your own. And when we come back, we're going to jump into topics that you would like us to use for Good Mammal streams. So purposes.
And where you would like to see it go, and what are some of the things that have stood out to you so far? Yeah,
and we'll do a little mini discussion on some of those things. A little flyover. A little free sample, a little charcuterie board.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Of emotional understanding, you know.
Or like a bird that kind of like dips into the water for a little bit.
We're gonna be birds that dip into the water.
Yeah, for a little bit.
We like those birds. Hina-chan, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
You're super welcome all the time. Am I gonna play Time Heist? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Because you asked for it.
All right. Cool. Let's take 5 minutes, my friends, and thank you all for being here. If you'd like to retweet to invite your friends, there's a pinned tweet up on Twitter. And a reminder that we will be back after this stream. Our next stream will be next Tuesday. Yeah. We'll be back next Tuesday. We're going away for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday streams. We are going to be gone for a wedding for my cousin and a celebration of life for my grandmother. Yeah. So we will be back in 5 minutes, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy Time Heist. It's by Lo. ! LO in the chat. Yo! And the boy just had a birthday. Yes! He turned 8. Right. Hey everyone, it's me. Hi. I'm also here.
Oh yeah. Hey, Pillow Cat.
Pillow Cat.
For 52 months.
Thank you, Pillow Cat. Let's say thank you to all of our mods right about now. Moderators, lieutenants, you lovely mammals. Thank you for helping us out.
Thanks, Pillow Cat.
We got a whole team of people that help us on our Twitch and on our Discord, and we literally couldn't do it without you. And a big love to Zen and to Jericho. Hello. Yes. Those are our subscriber chats on Discord. If you're a subscriber, please feel free to come say hello. So we're gonna kind of break into this purpose or meaning thing for Good Mammal itself.
Yeah.
We talked about the ideas of Ikigai, where we are finding things that we love.
Our purpose.
Things we love, things we're good at, things the world needs, and things we can be paid for. So let's look at the overlap for this stream in particular. There's a lot of you here, so we're gonna do this zone by zone. Cool.
Zone by zone. Oh, okay.
Let's do it zone by zone. So speaking of those aforementioned subscriber chats,
hold on, I'm gonna get my little pad.
Oh,
I'm gonna go analog.
My baby going analog. I, however, will not go analog. What are you doing, Bug? You got it?
Getting a pen.
Oh, a pen. That's how you go analog.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I analogged.
I like writing things down.
I had nearly forgotten. Shy Violet Angel, welcome back for 4 months. And Susie the Nose, thank you for the gift sub to CMDR Jupe. And we've got Ree. Thank you very much for the cheers. Plants, Books, Love is back for a whole year already. Thank you, friend. Thank you. And Ree144 and Leclerc, thank you so much for the cheers.
Wait, I saw something and that made me happy. Piper the person says, Mother says I looked like a forest nymph for our wedding. Thank you. That was exactly what I was going for. To Tanya from Midsummer Night's Dream.
Get your story straight, Titania.
That was my...
Ill met by moonlight, proud Titania.
That was my inspiration.
Yeah. And I played Oberon in the high school production of Midsummer Night's Dream, and I wore a sheer shirt, and I had peacock feathers on my shoulders.
Ooh, so
Ooh, I wish I had a photo I could show you right now. Thank you, Ree, again for the cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining.
All right.
Okay, let's do it. Sounds like a serve. Sounds like a fance. Who should we begin with? Jericho, you're never shy. Let's start with our subscriber chat, Jericho. All right, Jericho, we're looking at you. We see you. Welcome to the chaos, everyone. Yes,
New
very
beans.
fancy, very fancy. Ah! Jericho, it's you, okay? Because we can't read all three chats at the same time. Jericho, hit us with a couple of ideas. What are some prompts or themes or purposes for a good mammal stream that you think, based off the what we've been talking about over these three streams, what do you think would get us there? Huh?
Flames?
Love how I'm lurking and
Oh
then
my
we get
God.
called out. Oh my God. Feather, flames.
Boundaries.
Boundaries. Boundaries are a good topic. Channeling bad emotions or negative emotions. Choices and consent. How important are your choices and consent? Appreciating day-to-day things. So gratitude. How to provide yourself inner peace and comfort if the people around you aren't providing it. So self-awareness and self-control
environments,
and self-sufficiency. I see time management and anger management. That's a good one. What was the question, Izzy J? I got you. The question is topics or themes or reasons to do a good mammal stream. So we're looking for kind of categories here. Feelings are okay. Finding motivation. Self-acceptance. Healing your inner child. Wow, absolutely. That's some deep diving, right? Compassion for others. These are beautiful things. Seconding for time management. Okay, we're getting extra votes for time management. Age regression. All I got for you there is play games. Forgiving yourself for mistakes. These are some amazing ideas, Jericho.
Yeah.
All right. Should we put Zen Garden on the spot now?
Yeah. Zen, we see you.
All right. Now we got Zen Garden on the spot. Brain is broken. Oh God. Here it is. Heady hurts. Can't think. Oh my God. Specifically
tackling fear of failure.
Fear of failure and entering adulthood. How about recentering? Turning your inner LED from red to blue. Wow, what a good way of putting it. These are fantastic. How to be greener. Do you mean conservation-wise, Ronef? You must. So taking care of the environment and planet. That's something a good mammal would do, for sure. I see respecting boundaries again. Boundaries are living their life. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a great topic.
Yeah.
I see you all are typing. I'm rolling slowly through the chat, so feel free to type ahead of me.
Being present.
Respecting and setting boundaries is the clarity. Being present, living in the moment. Yeah.
Self-love.
Self-love. Yes, Plants Book Love. Yes, environmentally from Ronef. Trusting people and trusting yourself, being kinder to yourself. Dealing with mental health, which is a lot of this kind of, I think when we come to our chart here, for me, the red, what does the world need? Maybe it's that. Maybe it's taking time and making space and having it be okay to work on your mental health. I think that's for me a big motivator. Maybe I'll leave this up while we discuss it. Conflict resolution, kindness or grounding yourself, dealing with others who struggle, helping people. How can we help people who need help from us or ask for help from us? Negative news all over the world, yeah. Our mental states. And now Mew Memento's burning everything with this GIF. What's going on? All right, I think that's Zen Garden's way to say
No more.
no more. How to find light during the darkest days. These are good. All right, now it's for the busy one. Now everybody in stream chat and in general pop, you've had your chance to listen in, and now it's your chance to say a thing or 10.
What are some topics that you would like us to focus on in a Good Mammal stream?
Yeah, what else is out there for us, team? I'm going to slow the chat just a little bit. Accessibility and living with disability. Being realistic in your career. If your profession you're in is making you miserable, but you've committed so much to it already, how do you get the courage to move on while making it realistic?
What's that? Sunk cost bias?
Sunk cost bias, or a sunk cost fallacy, right? Where I say, oh, I've been digging this hole for 1,000 years and I hate digging holes, but I hate wasting 1,000 years more. So I'm going to keep digging holes that I hate, right? Living with anxiety or low self-esteem. Negative emotions might be a good topic to focus in on. Learned helplessness, the Flappy Spooker suggests, which is another one that popped up in the other chat as well. I just didn't say it out loud fast enough. Burnout.
Burnout, yeah.
Dealing with burnout.
That's real.
Oh, you were talking to a dude who's burned himself out before. I'm still getting better at that one. Neurodiversity. Very cool. We also did a Curiosity Chill stream on neurodiversity and the autistic spectrum, which was quite informative. How to show love in a healthy way. Showing love, mindfulness, body image and self-love. Burnout from work is getting another mark. Having negative or negative self-talk, depressive thoughts. I see sexuality and gender and identity. Self-expression. How to find joy in the mundane things in life. Yes. That's great. That's gratitude, team. That's appreciation. That's just think simpler. Don't try too hard. Just go, wow, I like that bird. Mental health awareness is getting a lot. Sleep. The importance of it and how to sleep efficiency. Avoiding negative self-talk. Stress management, dealing with stress. Changing limiting beliefs. A lot of love for the burnout one. Fear about failure. Toxic positivity. Happy is great, but sometimes we're told that we're bad people if we're not happy all the time. That's tiresome, huh? Oh, wear you out. It's really hard to actually be genuinely happy if you're not acknowledging where you really truly are emotionally.
Social media,
yeah, kind of the constant bombardment of information. So we got more for the how to be green. Toxic relationships, friendships, relationships, and how to maintain them would be a good one. Moving on from the past, so being in the present moment could have to do with the past and the present and the future all together.
These are so many great ideas.
You have large brains relative.
I got
to
3 pages.
3 pages. You have large brain relative to your.
Oh, fear of missing out. FOMO.
FOMO. Yeah. Exploring identity and authenticity, maintaining healthy relationships. They've been married for many years and are always looking for ways to ensure sustainability in your marriage. Yes. Letting go of relationships and making new ones. So make new friends and keep the old. Learning to let go of stress and hurt, social anxiety, commitment in relationships. That is okay not being okay. Negative conditioning. Amelia looks great.
Family
Agreed.
Issues. Family dynamics.
I'm noticing jealousy or envy pop up. If that's a good one for you, I really recommend checking out our previous Good Mammal stream that's up on our twitch.tv/DechartGames/videos or the videos tab. You can scroll back 1 week and watch our past 2 Good Mammal streams are actually up. And we did one, if jealousy or comparison or envy or this feeling of dissatisfaction are there for you, really, really recommend checking out the last one on gratitude and appreciation. Dealing with a narcissistic people in our lives, right? Grief and sadness, shame. There's so many great deep subjects here, team. Letting go. Letting go. Physical and mental well-being.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. Recognizing when your brain is lying to you. Yeah, that definitely happens. Recognizing your self-worth. How to let go of someone. Gaining self-love. These are all wonderful ideas, team.
Yeah.
These are all wonderful. How to stand up for yourself. That sounds to me like boundaries and knowing your worth, right? Coping with difficulties, loneliness can be an interesting topic. Self-accepting, expectations,
Ooh, that's
both
good.
positive and negative.
Expectations.
Confidence building, overworking yourself, I think goes with the burnout one.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah, to not let people mess with you, right? So that's another one for boundaries. Addictions, for sure. Control of your mind.
Hey, Zane Cat, thank you so much for the cheers.
Thank you, Zane Cat. Being able to have people ponder and reflect on ideas that bring meaning to their lives through storytelling in an art form is what brings meaning to mine. Will all of our Good Mammal streams be posted on YouTube? I think so. Right now, they're all up as VODs on Twitch, and they'll be here. They're up for 60 days. And then I'm talking to Oliver Super Scree about what to do with them. We were going to do them. We're going to shrink them down a little bit, but I don't think I can shrink it into 20 minutes. You made a good point that 2 hours into 20 minutes, we talk about a lot of stuff. So it might just be good to put the whole thing up there. Maybe that's a poll. Maybe I'll pull that real quick. Past Good Mammal streams.
You could dehydrate it, maybe.
Or
dehydrated.
Edited for time. All right. Number one in the chat. Let's do it like this. If you want to watch, obviously they'll be up on Twitch for 60 days, no matter what. 2 months a Twitch VOD stays up. Do you want the Good Mammal streams on YouTube or in archive form in full? One in the chat, or two edited for time. Like give me the Spark Notes. Give me the speed round. Okay, I'm saying a lot of full. A lot of full indeed.
Hey there, 12. Thanks for being here and subscribing with your Prime. And Mirdos, thank you for being here for 60 months.
Mirdos, thank you for being here for 5 whole years.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Thank you. Well, Super Scree, how glad are we didn't spend a whole bunch of time editing the streams into 20 minutes.
Good to ask.
See, this is the kind of artificial intelligence I can get behind. This hive mind thing of Twitch where we ask a question and then you all go this. For those of you that would like it edited down for time, I am not offended if you jump around through the VOD. If you're like, okay, I get it. Give me the next point. Skip forward. So maybe what we do then is we add chapter markers. Maybe that's the solution, Scree. Maybe we have kind of topic.
That's a good idea.
Could be a good idea so people can find their way through. Maybe that's the good middle ground. Timestamps.
Nina Key, thank you so much for the cheers.
Very cool. All
right, well, I got now 3.5 pages of ideas. Some of them are repetitions, but should I read them?
Should we? Do you want to broadly do you want to pull little sets of them? Not that any of them are better than other ones, but I would like to see what ones kind of people go ooh.
All right, so how about we could do?
Do you want to give me like 3 at a time and we'll speed round this?
Yeah.
Or how many do you have total?
I have 3.5 pages worth. I have, okay, let me count. 1, 2. Some of them are repeated though. So.
Yeah, that's okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
Oh my gosh.
But some of these are repeated.
Yeah.
27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53.
53. So there's probably 50 there. So I'm going to put them in here in batches. Let's make a spreadsheet. We can make a spreadsheet. Let's do them in batches of 5.
Okay.
All right. So Amelia's gonna read them off in 5, and then if we find later one that's similar to one we've already pulled, we'll just leave it be.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Boundaries.
Boundaries.
Channeling negative emotions.
How are we
So
gonna
it would
phrase
be like-
that?
It would be like, how about,
Let's skip that one for later, and we'll combine it to another one that makes sense for it.
Okay,
Continue. Second.
choices and consent. Inner peace.
Okay.
So that's like, yeah, inner peace. Self-awareness.
Yep.
Anger management.
All right, that's good for now. That's 5.
Okay.
So obviously these things are all important and connected to each other in different ways. But when it comes to, good mammal, the title of the stream is Good Mammal Boundaries. Good mammals, choices and consent. Good mammal, inner peace. Good mammal, self-awareness. Or good mammal, anger management. Hit me with a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the chat. And what we're going to do here, this is not making anything official. This is just us kind of feeling it out so we can pick which ones kind of rise to the top, right?
Okay, yeah.
So we can also watch the VOD back if we want to.
Yeah. I'm just going to put little stars next to the ones that are sticking out, especially.
Yeah, so we'll take like the top couple from each of these polls. Because what we want to do is boil it down to probably the ones that are most useful to everyone. A rough draft, as it were. Yes, a rough draft. All right. Give it a couple more seconds if anybody else wants to throw. 1 for boundaries, a 2 for choices and consent, a 3 for inner peace, number 4, self-awareness, and anger management, number 5. What's interesting to me is I feel like self-awareness and inner peace feel pretty tied, and I do think that boundaries are essential to get to kind of a place of inner peace, and you got to have some self-awareness to know what boundaries you want to set. So all this stuff is
and also having
daisy
inner
chained
peace
together.
is being able to control your anger management.
Right. So I just see a lot of connected thoughts here. All right, last call. Anybody who wants to participate? Let's have 10 more seconds on the clock. Anybody who wants to go ahead and vote for one of these. And don't worry, if you saw, for instance, anger management up there, just because it doesn't win this poll doesn't mean we won't do one on anger management. I think that's
We're just taking the temperature.
We're taking the temperature.
We're birds swooping in
we're
to the
birds.
water for a little bit.
All right, but boundaries gets a lot of love on that one. All right, hit me with another list of 5.
All right,
sweet.
time management.
Ooh, okay. Time management.
Finding motivation. Healing your inner child.
1 second, I spelled time. Spelling would be one for me. Where's my spelling team? If you are an excellent speller, good for you. Next.
Healing inner child. Forgiveness.
Well, those two are connected for sure. Okay, one more.
Adulthood. Adulting.
Alrighty. Let's try these 5 on for size. Get the temperature of the water. Number 1 in the chat for finding motivation. Number 2 in the chat for time management, or as I like to say, time management. Number 3 in the chat for healing the inner child. Number 4 in the chat is forgiveness. Number 5 in the chat, adulthood or adulting, doing all of those things which we must to survive. Am I an adult?
Yeah.
Is that what happened? I looked away for 2 seconds and I became an adult?
As soon as you're 18, you're technically an adult.
No.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do the work today. I don't really want to do the work today. I don't really want to do the work today. I don't want to do the work today. Well, that being said, finding motivation is getting a lot of motivation.
Forgiveness is like, nah, I don't need it.
Forgiveness is like, you're all a forgiving crowd. Well, this is not to say we won't get into forgiveness for sure, but maybe what we do is we tie forgiveness into one of these larger things.
Maybe
I really think it's the healing the inner child.
Yeah.
To me, forgiveness is definitely a part of healing.
You're okay, little computer.
For sure.
You're
it's
okay.
because you're covering it with stuff.
You're all good. You're all good.
Yep.
It's getting loud.
All right, 10 more seconds. Last call. If anyone would like to type a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 into the chat. Type a 1 for a stream on finding motivation. Number 2 in the chat for a stream on time management. Number 3 on healing the inner child, forgiveness. Number 4 and adulthood. Number 5. It would also be interesting to see some of these going up against the other ones. We need to have like a bracket, like how they have for the sports playoffs.
Yeah.
The sports.
The sports.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last call. All right, finding motivation is getting a lot of mojo. Let's give that one a star.
I've given them a star.
Okay, let's pull in the final one. I want to do a poll of all the ones that won their poll. So right now it's boundaries versus finding motivation.
All right.
All right, 5 more, sweet wife.
Fear of failure.
Fear of failure. It's out there and it's getting us.
Recentering.
Ooh, recentering.
How to be green. So
Green. Go green.
yeah, go green.
Conservationism.
Here's boundaries again. Here's forgiveness again.
Save the planet.
Here's being present again. Self-love.
Self-love. One more for now.
Conflict resolution.
Conflict resolution. These are very helpful to make the world a better place. These things could all be overlapping with our purpose for sure. Do we help with our fear of failure? Number 1 in the chat. Number 2, recentering, finding yourself present, and maybe meditation would be part of that. Number 3, go green, conservationism, save the planet. Good mammals have to take care of their environment, otherwise
They're not mammals.
they're not even mammals. Go look at a squirrel and say, are you taking care of your environment? No. Get off.
Not a mammal.
Number 4 in the chat for self-love. All you need is love. And number 5 in chat for conflict resolution. That means if I'm in a tense situation, if I have an issue with someone, if they have a very different point of view than I do, if I'm running into a repeat issue with someone, how can I work to resolve that? How can I fix my situation? These are all very, very helpful ideas. Also, when it comes to the number 3, the go green, conservationism, and save the planet, some of my favorite streams that we've done to raise funds for various groups. We've done a lot of different, as they were fundraising or charity streams. We've done some fun ones for people, like things like the Trevor Project. We've also done things for the World Wildlife Fund and animals and
rainforest and taking plastic out of the oceans.
Yeah, Ocean Conservancy.
Yeah.
So these are we may be using.
I'm putting a personal star next to that.
Personal star next to that one for us. But I also think that might be something that we want to use Good Mammal for, is like our fundraising and awareness and charity stream kind of mojo to see if we can help literally make the world a better place. Yeah. All right, last call for these ones. 10 seconds to type. Number 1 for fear of failure. Number 2 for recentering. Number 3 for going green, conservationism, and saving the planet. Number 4, self-love. And number 5, conflict resolution. Last call, friends. And here we go. Fear of failure. That's out there, right? The positive version of fear of failure, I guess, is what is success, right? Which is kind of where we're at today with this, what is the purpose?
Yeah.
Because if I don't know what I'm going towards, it's really hard to fear, you know what I mean? Like if all I do is like, oh, I don't want to fail. Yeah, but what do you want to do?
I also feel like fear of failure ties in with self-sabotage,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And living your best life, right?
Yeah.
All right, fear of failure gets its star.
I got it.
And hit me with 5 more.
All right.
Let's do another poll.
Family dynamics.
Ooh, family dynamics.
Which also could tie in with relationships.
Okay, let's go that together.
Yeah.
Relationships. And family dynamics.
Sunk cost bias. So, what's a
changing your mind.
Yeah, changing your mind. That's a good way of saying it. Changing.
Or allowing yourself to change your mind. Just because you began doing something doesn't necessarily mean
burnout.
Burnout.
Self-esteem and anxiety.
Self-esteem. And I'm going to make anxiety its own thing. There we go. Number 1 in the chat for relationships, also known as family dynamics. So your relationships could be with your roommate as well, or with your partner, right?
With friends.
With your coworkers or your friends. So family dynamics and relationships we put all together in number 1. Number 2, on changing your mind. How do we know when it's okay to change our mind, or when is it time to maybe make a change?
Mm-hmm.
Burnout. Number 3, burnout if you're overworked or you're burning yourself out. Number
burning
3,
the candle
can
at
help.
2 ends.
This is the American way.
Yeah.
Remember, work, 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 work. Bye, 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 bye.
Mm-hmm.
America.
Self-esteem.
Number 4, self-esteem. Very, very important, and has a lot to do with our connection to a lot of these other things. And anxiety, number 5.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to see a good mammal stream with one of these things as the subtitle, what we're doing right now for anybody who's just joining is we're comparing this idea of Ikigai, or our purpose or reason for being, to this good mammal stream. I know number 3 is not just America, but I do have to give America extra credit for the Industrial Revolution and the downward spiral of the working class. That's us, team. That's us. Extra credit. All right, let's do a last call here. 10 more seconds to participate. Number 1 in the chat for family dynamics, relationships, friendships, maintaining relationships. Number 2 in the chat for changing your mind, making a big life change. Number 3, burnout, overworking yourself, needing a break. Number 4, self-esteem. How do we feel about ourselves? When we look at ourselves in the mirror, or when we imagine ourselves, how do we feel about it? Number 5 is anxiety, dealing with anxiety, or, some difficult internal tension or friction inside of ourselves, right? Yeah. Alrighty.
All right.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Anxiety wins the day, but anxiety barely squeaks past burnout.
Yeah, I'd say
right.
they're both. Okay, neurodiversity.
All right, neurodiversity.
Body image.
Body image.
Self-love, I think we did.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna squiggle you out. Gender identity.
Gender identity.
Sleep.
Sleep. Oh my God, sleep.
Stress management.
Stress management. That's 5. All right, let's pull these 5 together and see how they stand out to you as something that you would be interested to learn more about, or what we could discuss together as a group that might be helpful for the whole class, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Number 1 in the chat for neurodiversity. What makes our brains so different from each other? How come we don't all think the exact same way? Number 2 in the chat is our body image. So the way we feel about our body. I gotta say thank you to my body for being here with me and enjoying some fine hydration. Mm-hmm. Number 3 in the chat for our gender identity. How do we identify when it comes to gender, and what does gender mean for us? There's a lot to explore in gender studies. Definitely. There are people who go to school, their entire degree is in gender studies. They spend 4 years getting to the bottom of that one. Number 4 is sleep. Number 5 is stress management. For those of you who are asking, I'll get you a textbook definition that neurodiversity is a word used to explain the unique way people's brains work. So, although we all have brains larger than
body size.
larger than our body size,
relative to our body size.
Relative to our body size, not all brains function in the same way. Mm-hmm. So, some people kind of have their own superpowers or things that they're find more difficult based off the way their brain works. So these are all very, very interesting topics. Let's go 10 seconds for last call to make sure that everybody had a chance to participate. 1 in the chat for neurodiversity and our brains and how they work. Number 2, body images. Images of our body. No, our own image of our body and what a body needs to be. Number 3, gender identity. Number 4, sleep. And number 5, stress management. 5 more seconds to participate in the poll.
Oh, those are
3,
like real tied.
2, 1. These are all really close. This has actually been the closest heat so far.
All right, I'm gonna circle both of them. I think they're both winners of body.
I think neurodiversity, body image, gender identity. I mean, all of them get it.
And
Sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep is up there. Stress management. If you're one of the stress management people, not to say we won't do a stream on stress management, but sleep is the key to stress management. If I'm not well slept,
And also managing expectations.
all right, hit me with 5 more here. Thank you all for your input. This is very, very informative and very helpful. Weather Wolf, welcome back for 6 months, my friend.
Hey, welcome back, Weather Wolf.
Thank you for being here.
Limiting beliefs.
All right, self-limiting belief. Okay.
Toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity.
Social media and how it affects our mental health.
I'm just going to call it social media for now.
Yeah.
Because these are all kind of mental health. I mean, this is all mental. These are all different facets of it.
Grief.
Grief. Loss.
Shame.
Shame. That's 5. All right, so here's 5. Number 1, self-limiting beliefs, right? Some of our self-limiting beliefs are things that are useful, like I don't believe I can fly. So because I don't believe I can fly, I don't tend to jump off anything except for in video games. Number 2, toxic positivity. The idea if it's not positive, basically the...
So a toxic positivity.
Yeah, you want to define it?
Yeah, is the belief that no matter how dire or difficult a situation is, people should maintain a positive mindset. So it could be, basically, no matter, basically kind of discounting.
As defined by what? Verywell.com?
Yeah.
I think the idea is basically oversimplifying the idea of good vibes only, right? And it'll all work out.
Yeah.
I mean,
basically, it's like not really acknowledging other stuff that's going on. It's just like, be positive.
it's kind of the opposite of what we're getting at when we're breaking into these different categories here. Like happy, for instance, at the most basic form, happiness is one of 6 of our like primitive emotions, right?
Yeah.
Diet is a great one.
I'm adding that. Okay.
Diet can be very helpful for a lot of these things. Diet can help us sleep.
Yeah.
Diet can help us have a better self-image. As I was reading through them, number 3, social media and information bombardment. Number 4, grief and loss. What happens when someone passes away, or when we lose a pet, or when we have even grief for our past selves, for the self we used to be.
Yeah.
And number 5, shame. Shame. What is the textbook definition of shame? Let me see.
I like looking at textbook definitions.
Yeah, shame is a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. So when you think you did something stupid,
You're like,
and you're like, oh man, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel shameful. Which is
Not fun.
not fun. Not fun. All right, let's call for 10 more seconds. Anybody who wants to participate, this is last call. Number 1, self-limiting belief. Number 2, toxic positivity. Number 3, social media. Number 4, grief or loss. And number 5, shame. You got some that are tied for you, Rainbow Ashes? That makes sense. I mean, I don't expect any of you to have like a number 1 favorite category of all of these, especially as we're kind of randomly putting them together. But this is helpful to just see what's kind of rising to the top, what sticks out to you, because we want to make the Good Mammal streams customized for the people who are here. So one of the things that Amelia and I are considering doing is, and I mean, I'm sure many of you have read the conversation about Twitch and subscribers and all this kind of stuff, but we've been thinking about having a separate way that people can be more involved in the Good Mammal stream if they want to be able to contribute specific questions or stories or tools, resources that they've used. So we're looking at how can we do that, maybe not directly through Twitch. Picaro Persona, hello.
Hello.
Our Good Mammal streams, what we're doing right now is we're discussing different topics that we could discuss together on our Tuesday Good Mammal streams. And these are 5 that were recommended by everyone here in chat. And what we're doing right now is we're kind of taking the temperature, just initial impressions for like what kind of things people would like to study or explore together, because we know that there's enough of you here that if one person says, I need to talk about self-limiting beliefs, that there's at least one other person here who's like, let me discuss that as well.
Yeah.
And some of you are a little bit more comfortable expressing what it is that you're working on, and other people might feel like they don't want to, speak out loud in that way. So what we're hoping is that those of you who are a little bit more on the typey, a little bit more on the share, can help us carve forward some progress for everybody. So that if you were more of a lurky type, you can just hang back and listen in.
Yeah.
All right, last call. And we're going to put self-limiting beliefs as number 1 for that. And then all around 20% shame, grief and loss, and toxic positivity all together.
Yeah.
Social media plays a part in it as well. All right. We got another set of 5?
Yeah.
Is this the last set of 5 probably?
Yeah.
Or we can do 6 if there's 6.
Okay, so letting go.
Okay, huge.
Loneliness.
Also huge.
Imposter syndrome.
Oh, I know about that one.
Me too. Expectations.
Cool.
Self-sabotage.
Yep.
And then we have addiction and diet.
Okay. I'm gonna put them all up there. This is gonna be a big run because we got 7 here. Let's pull them all on the stream. All right, this is for the idea, and we know a lot of these things overlap, right? So letting go might be part of grief, and diet might be part of positive self-image and things. But number 1 is letting go, change, and dealing with change. Change like loss, or change like
good change.
Anything. You can have good change and bad change. Number 2, loneliness. Number 3, imposter syndrome, the feeling that you're not the right person. How did I get here?
Yeah, I'm gonna get fired any minute.
I don't deserve
We're
this.
gonna figure it out.
Right? That kind of feeling. Number 4 is expectations. What do we think is going to happen? What is in acting? We had this exercise of expectations where you have one scene partner who's in a room and one scene partner who's out of the room, and the person who's in the room is expecting someone to come to the door. They might be expecting someone for their birthday, so they're going to throw a surprise, or they're expecting someone because they have to deliver bad news to them, and then the person comes in the room, and it may or may not be what they're expecting, right?
Yeah, and then the person on the outside has their own expectation of what they're about to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's those two things crossing.
Yeah, it could be, Picaro says it could be what you expect of other people or what you expect from yourself.
Yeah, or both.
Number 5, self-sabotage, or getting in our own way. That feels tied to imposter syndrome a little bit too, right?
Definitely.
Where you're like, I'm not the right dude for this. You got the wrong man. And then before you know,
you're making it
you're
happen.
making it happen, right? It's where I say, oh, I could never be a basketball star, right? And so then I kind of quit before I began.
Yeah.
Number 6 is dealing with addiction. Addiction is a real thing that is a big part of our life, and it is kind of taboo. You're right, Talmalin. It's probably one of the strengths of addiction itself is that it convinces us we should not talk about it
because there's probably shame linked
because
with
of
it.
the shame that's linked to it, right? Or these stigmas, or these kind of point of view that, well, it wouldn't be worth anyone's time for me to explain how I'm struggling with this. But I will take a second to say, if you feel like you're struggling with addiction, there's a lot of really, really good resources and a lot of very helpful people who would be interested to help you, not only specifically for alcohol. That's a common one, like Alcoholics Anonymous. But there's also Al-Anon, which is a group for people who have to deal with people who have to deal with addiction. So maybe you yourself are not the one who's struggling with addiction, but it's your family member or your lover or something. Number 7, because it's part of what goes in, diet. How do we take care of ourselves with a healthy diet? You could have addiction for social media, for sure.
Definitely.
You could have an addiction to loneliness. Hate to say it, but that's agoraphobia, where you become hooked on being on your own and not going outside into your world. So these are all these things are all interconnected. Yeah, you can have an addiction to dieting, for sure. Your diet is important to your overall health. And we get a lot of messages from early in our streams where people are like, you guys are so wholesome, and we're like, we should look up what is wholesome. You want to know the definition of wholesome? You want to take a guess at it, or should I just read it?
Read it. Yeah,
read it
right there.
All right. Conductive to or suggestive of good health and physical well-being. Right? So it's our mental health, it's our emotional health, it's our spiritual health,
and physical,
our financial health, our physical health, right? All of these different versions of our health go into having a holistic idea of our own health. All right, last call. And here we have it. Anybody wants to type 1 through 7? 3, 2, 1. Loneliness is out there for us, team. Loneliness is out there. Self-sabotage and imposter syndrome, to me, should be also linked together, because I think actually if you tie those two together, if you make self-sabotage and imposter syndrome the same one, I think they tie loneliness. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Nice. Do we want to do a runoff one, or are we good?
I circled all the winners.
Let's do one. Should we do one mega poll? The grand finale? Let's put them all together, okay? If you voted on any of these and one stuck out to you and you were like, oh, that's the one I'm rooting for, let's hear it, okay? Not to say that the number 2 and number 3 ones don't get there, but this is just a starting place.
We're just getting the temperature, figuring out where we want to take these good mammal streams next.
What is our purpose here?
Boundaries.
All right, boundaries.
Finding motivation. Fear of failure. Anxiety. Burnout. Neurodiversity. Body image. This was kind of a tie, those two.
Okay. I have room for 3 more, so be selective.
Limiting beliefs. Self-limiting beliefs. And loneliness.
All right. So before I put this whole thing up here and we start the poll officially, I want to remind us of where we began with our Ikigai, our reason for being. What we love, what we're good at, what the world needs, and what we can be paid for, that all overlap together to be a reason for being. So a reason for being in our stream, basically, is what we're getting at. Let us know on this poll what you think of these 9 things would be something in that center reason for being here on the stream that would be useful to you, or what you think the world needs, right? So let's see how we can narrow these down. Amelia, will you read us from the top and I'll adjust this?
Yes. Okay. Type 1 for boundaries, learning about how to set boundaries.
Communicating boundaries, respecting other people's boundaries.
2 for finding motivation. 3 for the fear of failure. 4 for anxiety and how to combat it and how to handle it. 5 for burnout, what to do when you're feeling just done. 6 for neurodiversity. Why do people's brains work differently?
Yeah, and how do we understand how our brain works?
7 for body image, how we see ourselves. 6 for self-limiting beliefs. And 9 for loneliness.
Right on. And a lot of these things connect to each other, but also it's Nicole Moon Leah's birthday. Wah, 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 wah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Nicole. Thank you for supporting our streams like you do. Welcome back for 3 months. You feel all 9 of them, huh? I feel that too. I have struggled with all 9 of these things.
Definitely.
All 9 of these things have confused my brain at some point.
And I think, also realizing that we're not alone in these feelings, because sometimes they're very isolating, that other people experience this too, that you're not alone in that is a way to, start working out of these.
Yeah. To answer the question about how many Good Mammal streams do we plan to do, I think we plan to do as many Good Mammal streams as is necessary to find a more specific goal. But for me right now, Good Mammal is the goal. This kind of a stream is where I want to head with Twitch and streaming. And so when it comes to being able to include all of these things on a Good Mammal stream, I imagine that they would be... all of these things would be a great starting point for a very interesting discussion. Uploading the streams as podcasts. That's an interesting idea. I have not considered that, but that's a good idea.
Hey, Nerdy Beauty, welcome back for 56 months.
Hey, Nerdy Beauty.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get some love for our moderators all around. For our team, we got our Discord team and our Twitch team and our lieutenants that help out to make our streams so smooth and wonderful.
So smooth.
And all right, last call. I'll read through them one more time here and then we'll hit pause. But just know, if you are interested in studying even one of these things, that there are many, many other people who also think it's a good idea to discuss that. So thank you for being part of our poll here. Number 1 for boundaries. Number 2 for finding motivation. Number 3 for fear of failure. Number 4, anxiety. Number 5 is burnout or overworking yourself. Neurodiversity. Number 6. Number 7, body image. Number 8, self-limiting beliefs. And number 9, loneliness. Fantastic. For anybody who is just joining for a Good Mammal stream and this is the first one you've joined, I do recommend checking out our Understanding Emotions stream, which was 2 streams ago.
Two Tuesdays ago.
Our most recent stream was on gratitude and being a primate. 2 of my favorite things. This is really fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, we're super open to suggestions. This is something we want to build with you and for you. So if you want to participate, please feel free to. Again, my email is emaildechart@gmail.com if you would like to send any more detailed thoughts or ways you think we could evolve or improve the Good Mammal streams. I'm always happy to hear from you. I'm going to hit pause on this poll because I think the clock on the wall says it's time for a raid soon. My family is in town, so we're going to go be hosts. It's part of my reason for being. Boundaries wins that poll, so maybe that's what we do on our next stream. Boundaries. And I see anxiety is up there.
Number
so maybe
2.
we even have some anxiety around setting boundaries or understanding boundaries. And loneliness, anxiety, and boundaries are the top 3 from this poll. Great work, everyone. Great work. Oh, you got your stickers.
Yay.
I'm glad to hear that, Ronaldo. Yeah, we shipped off a ton of stickers and Detroit Become Human prizes. There are I think there are 10 little things I have to get in the mail. And then we're all caught up on post. And we are going to be, you also got your stickers. Wonderful, Stark.
Nice.
Wonderful. We are going to be introducing a new gift prize sticker when we return from our adventure. Amelia and I will be away. A reminder, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We didn't disappear. No. We just went on a little bit of a family adventure for some celebrations, and we will be back next Tuesday.
So we'll be back for a Good Mammal stream, probably talking about boundaries.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea. You arrived too? All right. I'm glad they did, little Rosette.
Yay!
And thank you for your patience. We ship them out. So if you see other people are getting their stickers, it may be that they just live a little closer to us than you do. So they will have arrived in the States probably very soon. And if you live very far away, it could take up to a month for them to get to you.
So what's something that you took away or you learned in today's stream?
Pop quiz.
Pop quiz. What's one thing that stood out to you today?
Yeah, and I'm going to put this up here before we round out the stream. Go ahead and share with us a thing you learned. You learned what FOMO meant. The fear of missing out, for sure.
That democracy is great, yes.
That it's pronounced Ikigai.
That you like voting.
There you go.
You learned about Ikigai and what it is.
You figured out where you are personally on this Ikigai chart. That's very helpful, right? Because I feel like the part I'm trying to understand more is how can I take the things that I love and that I'm good at and overlap it more with what I feel like the world needs. So it feels more of a fulfilling quality. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm aiming for. You learn that you're not alone in your feelings. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
None of you are alone in your feelings.
No.
Whatever you're feeling, someone else is surely feeling it.
That it made you consider what you really enjoy.
Interesting. That balance is important to satisfy your feeling of purpose. Yes.
Taking your time is necessary. Balance is important.
Nice. Working to understand our emotions better. To set an alarm. There you go.
Yeah.
That many people struggle with the same thing and that you are not alone.
We need to be patient with ourselves and gentle with ourselves.
Taking a moment to think more deeply that we have a lot in common.
To have fun with your friends and treasure those memories and that time. Yeah.
The meaning of purpose is more deep than we thought. You learned that we have great shirts. Well, thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you all for being here. I think we're going to raid on because the time is here, but we do have one more poll for you today to decide where we're going to raid. Amelia, what is a raid even?
Does anyone here not know what a raid is? And you can be honest. Does anyone not know what a raid is? Just curious if anyone else knew.
What's a raid?
Okay.
There you
a
go,
raid is where we will take a poll and decide where we want to go next because other streamers are doing some awesome things. So here are 3 options of where you can go. Type of 1 if you want to visit someone who's playing Stardew Valley. 2 for a game called Unpacking, which is awesome. And 3 for someone playing chill music. And once we decide on which of these is the most hype for us in this moment, we're going to teleport magically over to their stream. And when we get there, we like to shower them with positive vibes and colorful emotes. And if you like what they're up to, hit the follow button. Basically, we're just bringing the party to a new spot.
Where can I find the Ikigai chart? I have it up on my Goodly Twitter. It's also up on Instagram if you'd like it, or just type that word into Google image search and you'll find a bunch of different charts of them. There's different colorations and slight variations to the way things are described. But thank you everybody for joining, and it is time for me to eat some food.
Munch.
Gotta take care of myself. We're going to unpacking, although the playing chill music stream just barely got it.
Well, unpacking is great.
This is Jumpin' Jupiter, and you're all going to enjoy. And we got to say the thing we usually say. My name is Brian.
My name's Amelia.
And this is our Twitch. Thank you all for spending time with us and for talking about what is our meaning, what is our purpose, and what is the purpose of our Good Mammal streams. Thank you for helping us research that a little bit more. And we look forward to joining you. We'll be live again next Tuesday, all right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll be away, but we'll come back for the next weekend of streams after this weekend. Miss Okami.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My purpose is to give you a hug back. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Thank you for hanging out with us. And if you got a gift set from Miss Okami, please be sure to thank her. And check out the starter kit if you like. This will show you the way around the channel. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for spending your time. Let's get going on this raid, shall we?
Yeah.
Here it comes in 3, 2, 1. Raid.